This is our planet, Earth. It is one of the 9 planets in our solar system that follows an imaginary path as it goes around the Sun. This path is called an orbit. Just like the Earth, all the other planets have their own paths or orbits. This is the reason they do not bump into each other. The German astronomer Johannes Kepler said in his law of planetary motion that planets move in elliptical orbits around the Sun. But what is an ellipse? Simply, it is a stretched circle with 2 foci. Now going back to the elliptical orbits of the planets, the Sun is at one focus of the orbit. As the ellipse flattens, it becomes more eccentric, making the distance between the foci greater. The orbits of most planets have very low eccentricity, resulting in an almost circular orbit. But Mercury, which is nearest to the Sun, and Pluto, which is farthest from the Sun, have the most eccentric orbits. Pluto also has the most unusual elliptical orbit. Pluto's orbit around the Sun is tilted at 17 degrees. It is the only planet with an inclined orbit since all the other planets have orbits in almost the same plane. But sometime in January 1979, Pluto orbited inside Neptune's orbit. On that day, Neptune became the farthest planet. This continued until March 1999. When Pluto got out of Neptune's orbit, it became the farthest planet again. The phenomenon happens every 228 years. Since the planets have elliptical orbits, there will be some points of approach when they are nearest and farthest to the Sun. The point of orbit when the planet is closest to the Sun is called perihelion, and a planet moves faster when it is closer to the Sun. On the other hand, the point of orbit when the planet is farthest to the Sun is called aphelion. This time, the planet moves slower when it is farther from the Sun. But why do planets remain in orbit as they revolve around the Sun? According to Isaac Newton's law of inertia, a body at rest will remain at rest unless a force acts on it. In the same way, a moving body will continue to move in the same direction and speed in a straight line unless a force acts on it to change its speed and direction. And imagine if no other forces were affecting the moving planets. They would just move straight into space and away from the Sun. But because there is another force known as gravity, the planets tend to remain in their orbits. Then again, according to Newton's law of gravitation, any 2 bodies having a mass and separated by a distance will attract each other due to a force of gravity. And the greater the mass of a body, the greater is its pull on another body with lesser mass. Again, if only gravity is acting, all the planets would crash into the Sun since it has a greater mass than the planets. Of course, we have to be thankful that a balance exists between these 2 forces, gravity and inertia, that help maintain the orderly motion of the planets in the solar system.